All right, I'm back. Hello, everyone. It's Dima Khoury with Compass in Burlingame. And again, I'm back to give you more information about what's happening in San Francisco market. So I'm going to start with general information that I just mentioned while talking about San Mateo County. So I always like to start with interest rates, which is still at historic low, which reflects a great purchase power for the buyers. So if you are thinking of buying, this is a great time to contact your lender to get your pre-approval letter so that you would know how much you want to invest in your property based on how much you can afford. So again, we're at 2.88%, the interest rates. Now, looking at in general what's happening in the US market and the Bay Area, and this is something that I also mentioned when I was talking about San Mateo County. So looking at the median house sales price, San Francisco is still and always on top, and this reflects that people are willing to pay the highest just to live in San Francisco. So again, the median is means that 50% of the purchases occurred higher than this number, and 50% of the purchases occurred, the other 50% occurred lower than this number. Now, again, San Francisco is on top. San Mateo is super close. We have Marin County is at 1,460,000, Santa Clara at 1,380,000, and then San Francisco condos at 1,200,000. And looking at the median home sales prices in the U.S. in general, it's $291,000, which is like a great difference between the nation's average versus San Francisco average and San Mateo County average. And now looking at the minimum qualifying income required to purchase the median price that we were talking about based on the current interest rate, which is 2.88, and with a down payment of 20%. So in order to qualify to purchase the median price in San Francisco, the minimum income should be $322,000. In San Mateo, it's very close. If you want to qualify to purchase the median price for an San Francisco condo, it's $226,000. And again, just for fun, looking at the nation's average of income, it's almost $55,000 versus $320,000 or $22,000 just to afford to live in San Francisco or San Mateo County. Now, looking at how the percentage of people that are qualifying to purchase or afford these properties or these prices, so we can see that the affordability is increasing. The percentage is increasing all throughout the U.S. and specifically in San Francisco and in San Mateo County, which reflects the great purchase power of the buyers that was, and the reason for that is the historic low interest rates. Now, looking at what the Realtor.com talks about or thinks, they say that the overall housing market activity has returned to the January pre-pandemic pace, which is great. And now, again, looking at the CEO and president of CoreLogic, saying home price appreciation continues at a solid pace, reflecting fundamental strength in demand drivers and limited for sale inventory. And the numbers that I'm going to share with you now will also show us that this is very true. So looking deeper into or going hyper-local into San Francisco market, so the number of active properties that hit the market for last week only, we had 212 properties that hit the market, out of which 69 properties only single family homes. So we can see the difference in supply between the condos versus the single family homes. And the number of properties that went in contract also during last week in San Francisco are 136. 62 of them were single family homes. So we have we need more condos to sell also to absorb all the demand that's on the all the supply that's on the market. Now, the number of properties that sold or closed escrow during last week was 66 properties, out of which 40 were single family homes. Now, looking at an extremely important number, which is really improving, obviously it's improving, which is absorption rate. So far we have 366 properties in general in San Francisco on the market. And we have, sorry, this is single family homes. Now we're talking about the absorption rate of single family homes. So again, we have 366 properties on the market or active, and we have 235 properties that are in contract, which means that if we divide these two numbers, we will get an absorption rate of 1.5, which means that we need a month and a half or a month and 15 days to sell the current all the single family homes that are on the market, which is super low. So we see that there's very low supply in the single family homes. Now, looking at the condos, because there is a difference in trend and activity between the single family homes and condos in San Francisco in particular. So we currently have 920 properties that are currently active on the market in San Francisco, and we have 259 in contract. So if we divide these two numbers, we get 3 months and a half. So we need 3 months and a half to sell all the current condos that on the market, which is still a low number. So anything below 4 means that it's a seller's market. So we still see stability in, again, the San Francisco market, although the activity or the trend is different between the single family homes and the condominiums. Now, going back, I would like, before I leave you today, I'd like to show you also another 2 charts that reflects or just show us what we're talking about, which is the number of new listings coming on the market. So we have this year versus last year's to see the difference. So we have way more supply this year. So we have 99% properties, the number of properties coming on the market, they're way more than what has been coming on the market last year during this time. And again, this shows the shift in trend between the spring market and the summer market. Now, the number of properties that are going in contract also, it has increased almost 50% in comparison to last year, again, which shows the shift in the trend between like the strong market has shifted from the spring to the summer market. Now, this last slide shows us that the supply throughout the years has been increasing in San Francisco market for both the condos and the single family homes. And the condos, we always have more supply or more properties on the market than the single family homes. So this is basically what's happening in San Francisco County and in general, the ideas or the feel of what's happening in the U.S. market. This is the activity is definitely improving in San Francisco, especially with the condominiums. And this was reflected in the absorption rate. So I'll leave you now. If you have any question with regards to your property to a specific district, because districts are kind of different in trends also, please feel free to reach out and I'll be more than happy to provide you with any information that you want. I'll leave you now. Have a wonderful weekend and please be healthy, stay safe.